In this video, I'm going to continue working with navigation drawer example I have created earlier, and I'll show you how to extend it by adding user login feature and user logout feature. And the way it's going to work is like this. You'll have a navigation drawer with the center view controller, and there will be two buttons, one on the left side and another on the right side. When you tap on the left side button, you will have a table view controller with the picture and the label, and the logout button, which if you tap will take you to the login view. And when you tap on login, it will take you again to your navigation drawer. That is basically your main dashboard and your mobile application. Now in this video, I'm not going to show you how to create navigation drawer itself, because I did it in my other video in this playlist. So if you did not watch that video, go ahead and watch. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to add log out button and how to create this login view and how to connect this two views, login view and the navigation drawer together. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to add business logic of collect email address and password and send it to a server side, and then if username and password correct, then make a decision whether user should be presented with this center view controller with the navigation drawer or not. Okay, so let's go ahead and create this example. Let's start with creating this login view. In my current project, the one which is I have on my screen, I will run it right now. I have the project, I have an example that I've created earlier. So this example has navigation drawer only, and it has a left side menu, which is a table view controller, but it doesn't have logout button. And this example doesn't have login view controller. So I'm going to start with this video by creating a login view controller. So I'll stop it. I'll go to main storyboard. As you can see, these are all the view controllers that I have, and the initial view controller is my navigation drawer. So I will arrange my panels a little bit, and I'll grab view controller, drag it and drop here. Yeah, I'll resize it to 4-inch, and I'll make it my initial view controller, because I want, when mobile app starts, I want it to start with login, not the navigation drawer right away. And I'll grab some labels. So this label will basically be a friendly message like, please sign up, sign in. Okay, and I need two text fields. One text field for email address. I will put a placeholder text for it, email address, and the other one will be for password. Placeholder text will be password. Now I will also configure a little bit this text fields. For example, for email address, I like to have clear button here, always visible, so that a user can clear it if they need to type a new email address. And for the password, I also like the clear button to be always visible, and because it's a password, it needs to be a secure text entry field, so that actual password is replaced with asterisk. Okay, here we go, and we need a button. And this button will be a login button. Okay, so now this view controller is just it doesn't have any Swift file associated with it. So I will go ahead and create a new Swift file that will be responsible for this view. New file and iOS source code touch class, next, and I'll call it login view controller language Swift, next. Good. Okay, now I have my login view controller, and I will go back to main storyboard, select my view controller, and switch to identity inspector, and under custom class I will provide I will specify login view controller. Now because I'm going to communicate with this view controller from my source code later on, I need to set identity storyboard ID, and I usually set it to the same value as my custom class. So I will copy this login view controller and I'll paste it into storyboard ID like this and hit enter. This is very important. I mean, it can be any storyboard ID you type here. You can give it another name, but I like it when they're the same. Okay, so now when I have it, I can connect my button, login button, to the source code. I can create an outlet for it so that when user taps on it, a certain function is executed. So I will hold the control button, click, drag, and drop it here. And that should be connection of type action. And I will type login button tapped. Okay, so when login button tapped, this function will be executed. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this example and see how it works. Stop it and run it. Okay, so it started with the navigation drawer, and even though I made my login view controller initial view controller here, it still starts with navigation drawer. And I know why, because it is an old project, and in that project there was an app delegate here here in the function called did finish launching with option. We actually coded it here. We've created navigation drawer right when application started. So I will comment out this code because I don't need it at this moment. I will reuse it later on. So now did finish launching with option doesn't do anything. It's an empty function, it returns true. So let me stop it and run it again. Very good. So now I see my login view controller, but when I tap on login button, even though that function gets executed, it's empty. It doesn't have anything. So if I go there, it doesn't have anything here. So now I need, when user taps on login button, I need to execute some code here that will take me to the navigation drawer. And I will simply reuse this code here that I've just commented here, because this is the code that creates navigation drawer. And I'll copy it, and I will go to my login view controller, and I'll paste it. And I'll walk you through, explain what's going on. So here, what we do, we access root view controller of our window, but we cannot do it from this view controller. We could do it from app delegate. So this line of code won't work. So what I need to do, I need to access app app delegate, and I'll show you how to do it in a second. So this line will replace with this line of code. So what it does is I create a new variable called app delegate, and it is of type of app delegate, and then I access app delegate through application, shared application delegate. So now when I have my app delegate created, I can access window object through it, and I can grab the root view controller. Now the rest is the same. So this basically I instantiate main storyboard, and our main storyboard has 3 view controllers created there: the central view controller, a left side view controller, and right side view controller. These view controllers we've created in our previous video, so I'm not going to show you how it was created again. Just watch that video. It explains everything, but basically we instantiate a view controller located on the main storyboard, and that view controller has storyboard ID called view controller. Quickly show you. Main storyboard, center view controller. If I select it and expand this right side panel, it has custom class view controller and storyboard ID view controller. So each one of them has its own storyboard ID. And in our login view controller, so these are storyboard IDs of each view controller we have on our storyboard. One for central, one for left side, and one for right side. Now we then take these view controllers and we rub them into navigation controller. I have them here. So the next thing that we do, we create a drawer itself. So let center container be drawer. So now we have this drawer, and we add we create a navigation drawer with center view controller, left side, and the right side. So we put we supply all these navigation controllers into its constructor. And then important thing for defining for the center, for the open gestures and the closed gestures, we've set it here. Okay, now this code is actually not going to work because we need to access it through app delegate again. We can't access window object from login view controller. So I need to put app delegate here and app delegate here. Okay, so now we say app delegate window object root view controller should be equal to center to our navigation drawer. Okay, so let's run this example and see how it works. So when login button tapped, we create navigation drawer and we replace Windows root view controller with this navigation drawer. Run it. Okay, I don't have any business logic for username and password. I simply click on login button, and here we go. We come to our navigation drawer. Very good, but now if I stop this application and run again, it will still start with login, even though I tap login. This is because we did not remember a user state. So basically what I want to do when a user taps on login button and authorization is successful, I need to remember that this user is now authorized and do not ask for and do not ask them to log in again. And the way I do it, so basically just because we are ready to display navigation controller, that means that user is logged in. So what I can do, I can put some code here, which is basically I create a new key with the name is user logged in, and I set it at value of true, and I do it in NS user defaults. So I set the new key is user login true, and then I synchronize user defaults. So now we remember that user is logged in, and I will reuse it a bit later in my code to skip a login view controller when application start. Okay, let's actually do it right now. So when application starts, it will either start with initial view controller or a view controller that we will create here in did finish launching with options, and we'll navigate to that one. So remember this code we've commented out here, and this code basically creates our navigation drawer. So now I will uncomment this code. I'll uncomment this code, and above I will execute this condition statement, which will basically say I will access user defaults, get the key that we've created is user logged in from there, right? I don't need it anymore. And now I say if is user logged in, we don't need to display login view controller. If user is logged in, we need to display navigation drawer. And I'll take this code that creates navigation drawer and I'll put it inside of this if statement. Okay, so if user is logged in, if the key is stored in user default and it's true, we do not display view controller, login view controller. We display navigation drawer. But if the user is not logged in, this code will not be executed, and the initial view controller, which is our login view here, initial view controller, login view, will be displayed. So let's stop this example and run it again. Okay, now we see login, and when I tap on login, I go back to, I go to navigation drawer. So now what if I stop it and run again, technically I should start with navigation drawer because we have already logged in and I do not need to display user login view. So if I stop it again and run it, I do not see login view controller anymore because I'm logged in. So now let's do the logout button here. I need logout button so that when logout button tapped, I want to, when logout button tapped, what I want to do, I want to set this is user logged in to false. I want to log user out and I want to display user login again. So the logout button I will place into left side navigation menu here under about, and this is a left side view controller, which is a table view controller. I will stop here and I will go to left side view controller, and left side view controller is a table view controller which we've created in our previous video, and this table view controller displays value menu items we have here, and it has only two: menu, about, and I'll add one more which will be logout. Okay. Now, in the function called didSelectRow at index path, if user taps on first one, which is central or main view controller, we execute this code. If user taps on the second one, which is about, we execute this one. But if user taps on a third option, it will be case number 2, because it starts with 0, right? And then we need break here. In the case user taps on logout, we need to execute some code that will log user out and will display our login view control. So the first thing I want to do here, I want to instantiate login view controller. So the way I instantiate login view controller is this. I create a new variable, login view controller, and then I access storyboard, and then instantiate view controller with identifier login view controller. Remember that identifier we've created. I go to main storyboard, I open login view controller here, and the identifier I've created is under identity inspector here, identity storyboard ID, login view controller. This is the name I use. That's why in my left side view controller, I use login view controller here. Okay, now I have view controller. Now I will need to access app delegate again. Why? Because I want to replace Windows root view controller. I want to replace Windows root view controller with the login view controller now, right? And I cannot do it from any other view controller but app delegate. Okay, but before we leave this view, we need to we need to reset is user login flag. So, and I will do it maybe at the very top here. So just before we leave navigation drawer, we need to set is user login to false. We log user out, synchronize it, then create new view controller, which is login view controller, and replace Windows current root view controller with the login view. And then that's it. So let's run this example and see how it works. Okay, because we logged in already, we see navigation drawer. So here's our logout button we've just created, a new option in our table view. I tap on it and my Windows root view controller is replaced with view controller, login view controller. So now if I log in again successfully, my login view controller is replaced with navigation drawer. And if I tap on logout, I'm logged out. So now when we are logged out, let's stop application, run it again. And it starts with login. Why? Because when we tap on logout, we've executed this code, and this code cleared out is user login. And when application starts, it checks. In the did finish launching with options, it checks, is user logged in? And if user is logged in, we display drawer. Otherwise, we display the initial view controller here, initial view controller we've created in our storyboard. Now, one of the ways to create initial view controller is to have this arrow here. But if you got confused, if you for some reason misplaced it or don't have this arrow here, you can always check when you select this view controller. You can always check this button here, checkbox, view controller is initial view controller. See, if I uncheck it, the arrow disappears. If I check it, it becomes my initial view controller, the very first one that your application will display to user when it starts. I think this is it. Let's just make sure this application works. Let's tap some more buttons to make sure it doesn't crash before I share it with you. So I tap on login. It works. Oh, see, right side button nil. All right. One very important thing we did not do is when we created a view controller in the login view controller here, when we created navigation drawer, we simply replaced it. We simply replaced our current window with the new view controller. What we forgot to do, we actually, what we needed to in our app delegate, we have a center container, and we forgot to set it to our new drawer. App delegate container equals to center container, and now app delegate container is equal to this container, right? Let's run it. Left, right, main, about, logout, stop, run, login, left, right, main, about, logout, stop, run, login. Now everything works. And the reason it broke is because we've created in the login view controller, we've created our drawer, and we've replaced view controller with this drawer. But when you used your gestures, it doesn't see your login view controller. You've left it, and login view controller is not there anymore. So we needed to set a reference from app delegate center container to our drawer, and this way it will work. Okay, guys, I think this is it for this example. I will upload entire project into GitHub. So if you follow this video, I hope everything will work for you just like it worked now for me. But if there's something that doesn't work, you can always download entire source code and then run it, debug it, and just make sure that everything works. And if for some reason it doesn't, drop me a message and I'll do my best to come back to you as soon as possible. In my next video, I will show you how to collect user email password from login view and then send it to your server side, receive back response from the server side, and then make decision. If response is positive, username and password is correct, then we display our drawer. And if username and password is not correct, we will display a friendly alert view message saying username and password is not correct. This is it. Stay tuned.